Hello again. Welcome to another edition of Virtual CropLife Retail Week. Paul Schrimpf and Eric Sfiligoj coming to you from our fabulous estates in suburban Cleveland, Ohio. How you doing, Eric?
Very good, Paul. Love the Last Supper behind you. That's very nice.
Yeah, it's a Catholic house, and we're in the dining room. It's pretty much a requirement.
Okay. I'll trust you on that one. And actually, our viewers could probably see Box Person behind me. Wave, yes, Box Person. So I have Box Person for a reason here, Paul. Box Person is joining me today because he is home, of course, homeschooling, while I am in the bunker doing the video with you. But part of the reason I brought him along is I'm told that people, to keep the kids occupied in their neighborhood while they're walking around, not in school, but trying to get out and get some fresh air, there's some cities that are putting teddy bears in the windows of their homes so that folks can, the kids can find the teddy bears and then sort of do like a little miniature scavenger hunt. Even though they can't visit their neighbors, they can point out who has the brown bear versus the red bear versus the purple bear, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So in honor of that, I told a couple of people that I would show one of our teddy bears. So this is Gorbachev. And the reason he's named Gorbachev is he was my grandfather's bear. Grandma got him for him back in the 1970s. And at one point, Grandpa was working with some railroad ties in the yard and got some tar on him and got a little stain on Gorbachev's head. So I started calling the bear Gorbachev in honor of the Russian leader at the time, who had a nice little head stain. And the name stuck. And so Gorbachev, when my grandfather passed away, we bequeathed Gorbachev to Mr. Cole, who is a Box Person. So there is my teddy bear to find on your scavenger hunt. So say hello to Gorbachev, everyone out there in viewing land.
That's hilarious. That's great. It's funny. We're almost like two generations removed from seeing from understanding Gorbachev really, and until the Chernobyl series came out. Now everyone's kind of re-seen him again, and that was always the thing, was the stain. So that's funny. That's a great story.
Yeah. So. Just to share, so yeah.
That's great. So before we go on, I just want to mention that the Retail Week this week is sponsored by UPL, and we want you to stay tuned. At the end of this video, we have Robin Sitberg, our content editor, talking to Brian Carden, head of sales at UPL, and he'll be talking a little bit more about products and agronomy and situation out in the Midwest. So please do stay tuned for that. So with that, we're still getting used to a little bit used to the home office. I think I'm finally starting to feel like I'm in a bit of a groove, and I think we've both been talking to people, trying to find out what's going on in the marketplace and what the challenges are right now. Sounds like things are running hard. At least some of the folks I talked to in Illinois say they are moving anhydrous. They're getting product out, getting stuff applied as fast as they can. I guess the big challenge is really, trying to avoid plant shutdowns, trying to avoid anything related to coronavirus. That's kind of that could lead to some kind of a shutdown that would hamper supply at all. And I think everybody's done their best to get the product to where they think they need it to be, but it's we're still at the mercy of a lot of unknown forces. So. That's kind of been, just trying to monitoring where people are. And I think people are in a good a state of mind as they can be. And frankly, for us city people, I think it's really good to see the activity in the country. I mean, things are actually getting done. Work is happening, which is a real positive. But any perspective from you, sir?
Well, yeah, the only thing I could share is I've heard from a couple of friends in Iowa and Indiana, the other two I states, and they pretty much say the same thing, that stuff is moving along. Supply isn't an issue for seed or chemical or crop protection, fertilizer products at this point. So they've got enough to go around, and there's no problems there. But one person I did talk to said they just made a swing through Arkansas, and they did note that while the ag retail facilities were very busy in the state, that the university folks that they normally visit with were all sheltered at home and not on campus. So I suppose, if people are looking for extension help this year, it'd be a phone call. It's not going to be an in-person visit.
Yeah, interesting. I think we'd heard from one of our editors down who's in the Memphis office in cotton said that there's concern about in terms of the amount of cotton grown and where USDA is versus where it probably is. It seems like there's going to be a lot of shifting away from cotton and into corn or soybeans this year, and I think I wonder too, even in the Midwest. I guess we'll see, what happens if there is a shift, if there's a turn in the weather, and when people need to shift from corn to soybeans. Are we going to be in the midst of more hijinks with coronavirus and dealing with how to get that seed moved around? And that's maybe a worst case, but no. Other than that, it's just trying to sleep at night with all the unknowns, but just keep on going with the work that we're doing now. We're kind of in the same boat.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned the commodities, Paul, the crops, because I know I was looking this morning to see what was going on. And of course, corn apparently is still taking hits because of the whole ethanol uncertainty with plants shutting down, and the demand for gasoline to move people around isn't quite there. But it did note that soybean, wheat, and rice were actually kind of going up in price. I know I was at the store myself last night, couldn't find rice. There was none to be had. And I know bread has been a little more scarce, so I expect that's helping wheat. And in terms of soybean, I guess the Chinese crushers that have been offline during Corona in the early part of the year are starting to come back online. So speculation is that they'll need soybeans to be crushing in their plants. Therefore, they'll be ordering more from the U.S. So, corn may be taking the hit, but those other three staples seem like they're going to be doing a little bit better.
Yep. Well, that's good news. So, in terms of some of the other things that are going on, we did get a note from Ian McGregor, who's heading up he's the third generation, I believe, of McGregors that are running McGregor Co. up in the Pacific Northwest, that they acquired Green Star Incorporated, which is a one outlet facility in Bonners Ferry, Idaho. So they're continuing to expand and look to go beyond our borders. And congratulations to those folks. And I think everyone was happy about that on that front.
So speaking of things going on in the market, Paul, I know a few weeks ago we talked about Jim Byam stepping aside from the Michigan Agribusiness Association. And I know that this morning I see he has a new gig going on.
Yes, governmental affairs, which makes perfect sense. And hopefully he'll settle in and do well there. But yeah, that's not an infrequent gig to shifting over to kind of the private sector sort of thing and doing government affairs. It's obviously really important work. We wish him all the best.
Yeah, I wonder if based on him and Jay Vroom, I know they both retired and seemed like they were hired right a couple of minutes after the retirement party was over. So we'll have to maybe compare notes on that. No offense, Jim and Jay, but when I retire, I plan to stay retired. I'm not coming back. So
it's funny you should mention Jay Vroom. I just talked to him this week too, or actually it was late last week. I was talking to him about some of the things that he's working on, and he's not unhappy about being away from the DC runaround, the DC rigmarole that he had to go through, and kind of thrilled that he's kind of picking his shots and doing some interesting new work. So he certainly landed and is happy with where he's at right now. So that's good.
Yeah. So one thing to mention, I know that I just wrote a story for our online website talking about the trade shows coming up in the summer. I know there's some question as to how coronavirus might impact those. And I know the ones that a lot of people I had said were looking forward to were InfoAg at the end of July and Maggie at the end of August. But, a couple other notes. I see that the World Pork Expo has been canceled, which was supposed to be taking place early June in Iowa. And I guess there's some question now about the Southwest Fertilizer Conference in Denver, which is in mid-July, I believe. So those are the first two things on the docket coming up. But, I guess there's going to be some question marks. But I know here at CropLife, we're actually planning an event a little further forward on the calendar, which we're hopeful we can maybe talk about now.
Yeah, we're calling it the PACE Executive Forum. PACE is an initiative that CropLife has had out in commerce for 25 years, and we've it's always been relatively tight group of industry experts who've come together once a year and also through the year to help us decipher what's going on in the market and understand the world and ag and how we should be shaping our editorial pursuits and special project pursuits and just where the market's heading overall. And with the PACE Executive Forum, we want to enlarge that group and try to bring in the different aspects of ag, crop protection, seed, fertilizer, equipment, precision, lots of experts and folks with stakeholders in the industry to come together and talk about the problems we have and share ideas that we have across the different segments. I think there's a lot of events out there that really focus on the individual segments, but bringing all those segments together into one conference to have a broader discussion is what we're targeting. So we have a website out, pschexecutiveforum.com. We'll have something on the screen here to show the logos and so forth and things that we're doing. You can sign up on a website for more information as the agenda gets settled. We know we have to be sensitive to what's going on. We don't know how this is going to unfold. There's a lot of unknowns, but at the same time, we feel compelled to continue moving forward to try and do things that service this market and to help retailers and others sustain their businesses. And so we'll continue to work on this. If things take a turn in a different direction, we'll certainly reevaluate and be sensitive to that. But at this point, we want to make sure that we're going full steam ahead. So if things do go in a positive direction and we can move forward, that we're ready with activities that kind of help you with your business. So feel free to go ahead and sign up and look for more information as we move along.
Yeah, and timing-wise, it'll be the end of October in Kansas City, Paul. So hopefully we'll be through all this uncertainty at that point.
We hope so. We can't really say for sure, of course, and your predictions both ways, but we're hoping that things are settled in and we can gather together safely in late October.
Yep. Well, that's about all I have for this week, Paul. I know we've been talking quite a bit, so as Paul said, stay tuned for the UPL interview.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us this week, and we will see you next week.
Hello, I'm Robin Sitberg, Custom Content Editor for Meister Media Worldwide, publisher of CropLife magazine, and I'm here today with Brian Carden, Head of Sales for the U.S. for UPL. Welcome to the program.
Thanks, Robin. Certainly appreciate the opportunity to speak with you this morning.
My first question is, when UPL acquired Arista Life Sciences last year, how did that affect things, and what would you like retailers to know about how that merger or acquisition is going to affect them?
Well, we're excited about that because bringing both these organizations together will offer a sustainable platform with a broad product base, whether it be from crop establishment all the way to post-harvest. And it will allow us to play in geographies that historically we haven't been able to play in because of portfolio or personnel, those type of things. And so we're excited to offer a full line of opportunities for our retail partners that are out there. And I'm excited for that opportunity.
Tell me about the kind of approach UPL is taking in the marketplace that's going to benefit the channel.
We're certainly a distribution-centric company with a retail focus, and so we're learning that market segment. Historically, we've been in the horseshoe or the smile of the United States and been more of a specialty player in the chemical space, but with the acquisition, it's afforded us the opportunity to expand our presence in the Midwest. And so working through our channel partners, we're trying to introduce our UPL name into the Midwest and offer up, again, a broad portfolio and another sustainable partner for retail to work with.
I know one of the benefits that UPL is really excited about is the broader range of customized solutions the company can offer. So what can you tell us about that?
Well, as I alluded in your earlier question, we have the ability now to really play in the channel from crop establishment to post-harvest and offer a wide variety of products, not only in the synthetic crop space, but also in the bio space. and as we've discussed, the seed treatment space. But probably more importantly is to offer a sustainable solution there. With all the changes that are going on globally today, us having a global presence from a manufacturing perspective enables us to be a sustainable partner. And I think that's really what people are looking for today is sustainability in a very complex world.
Well, my final question is we're going into a new crop year, and as National Sales Manager, what are you most excited about?
Well, I'm excited, with the acquisition and really having a year to kind of put this together. We're really starting to solidify as an organization. And so I'm excited about that. But more so, again, with all the disruptions and things that are happening globally, and we truly live in a global economy today, UPL is one of the few that can offer a sustainable, very broad portfolio of products that are out there. And so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about getting the UPL presence known in other parts of the geography where we haven't necessarily had a presence in the past. And I'm looking forward to this year.
Well, thank you so much. We're out of time, so we've got to wrap up, but I really appreciate you being on the program, and thanks again.
Thanks, Robin. Have a great day.
If you have questions or comments about today's episode of Retail Week, contact us by email or Twitter, or type your message in the comment section below.
Your feedback is important to us. We'll try our best to address your thoughts in next week's episode.
And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.